Welcome to video 2, where we install these Homega panels in a basement. It's a new 3-in-1 system, and we're going to teach you everything you need to know today. Hey everyone, I'm Kody with Up to Code. Now, in video 1 was just a preparation video to get us ready to start installing the panels. And so today we're going to start installing it. And this system that we've developed was actually, my friends Damien and Maggie were a huge part in helping me determine and figure out the structure and the step-by-step process, which we're going to show you today. And I think the reason why this video is so important and so helpful to you guys is because Nudura, who makes the product, doesn't really give you a set installation manual. They say you can screw it to the concrete wall and it's easy, good to go, you can drywall. But we all know that there's no wall out there that's straight or true or plumb. And so we've basically kind of completed the system, thought about everything you need to think about, how to address the tops, the bottoms, and all the windows. So anyway, we're going to jump into it and show you everything that we've learned. And I think it's a pretty simple system. So thanks for tuning in. Now you're ready to install the Homega. We like to place the sheets so that we can work from right to left. This is what they look like. That lip is there at the bottom. We're going to cut that off. And this is the overlap on the left-hand side of the sheet. So we're looking at the bottom, and there's the top up there. So next, just cut that bottom piece of foam off. This saves you from having to cut across the wood strips twice. So that's what works for us. Measure the height between your plates. So bottom plate to top plate. And we like to check both the left and right hand sides. We go by the shortest dimension, unless it's brutally at a level. And from the shortest dimension, take another 1/4 inch off, and these seem to fit real nice. Next, just measure, mark. We cut that with a circular saw, and then we finish it with the hand saw. Luke just making the marks. We run the felt just because the chalk line kind of seems to disappear when you're sawing. Luke's just going to measure where our anchor bolts are, and he's just going to notch the foam first. And then next he'll dry fit that piece, make sure it works. Okay, here's the dry fit. Okay. Now we're going to foam the gap. Install the sheet. Yeah, if you feel free, check it for plumb once in a while. Make sure you're decent. So we pre-drill the bottom strips of wood to the bottom plate, and we pre-drill the top strips to the top plate. And then that allows us to install some toe nails or toe screws. Now install a number 8 by 2.5 inch deck screw. And now you can Now you can see the advantage to doing that 1.5 inch angle. It just prevents that from falling in behind the top or bottom plate. Now, since we're in an 8-foot basement, it's actually 92 inches high. So we're just going to mark down 30 inches and 60 inches. We're going to do that on all those strips. Those are intersections, and we're going to use concrete screws to anchor those to the wall. Now, systematically, if you want to install your sheets and do these next few steps later, feel free. But this is just to make this step by step real seamless. So make your marks and chalk a line. So next we're going to do a countersink, and we're just using, I call it the poor man's countersink. We just take a 3/8 drill bit. We're going to just taper the head of the wood so that that screw head falls in behind the surface of the wood strips, because we can't really put too much pressure in to try to sink those. Countersink all those intersections. Now take a 1/4 inch drill bit and just drill through the whole Homega panel itself. Now you're going to stick your spray foam gun in those holes, and you're going to blast for about 3 seconds. And Damien, I think, coined this term as we're going to create a puck in behind the panels. Next, you're going to hammer drill. For these screws, we're using a 3/16 inch drill bit, and you're just going to hammer drill them all. The reason we spray foam the panels and then drill the holes into the concrete is we don't want dust getting on the concrete wall or the foam panel, which could affect the adhesion of the spray foam. So we spray foam it, then drill the holes. If a little dust gets mixed in with the foam, at least we have the adhesion. And I almost forgot, we actually did a little bit of a test. So we're going to run a video on that where we show you how we tested the product, made sure it would adhere to the concrete properly. And also we're going to check in with Damien and Maggie. They just finished their basement, and I want to show you basically some insight from those guys, show you that we can hang kitchen cabinets from it and everything else. So the system actually works very well, and so we'll get a little insight from those guys. Now we're going to install, we have an assortment of concrete screws. We have 1/4x5s or 1/4x6, and we find that it just depends on how far the concrete's sitting away from the wall. As you can see, it changes. It's tight down there, and if you move to the top, it gets further away. So you just kind of play, start with 5-inch, or if you got too big of a gap, go with the 6-inch concrete screws. So you're going to install those, but you're going to do it lightly as to not bow the panel inward. And that's why we countersunk those holes. So up top, Luke's going to try the 6-inch, and you can see where he's touching the concrete. He's about 1 inch away, so that screw should work nice. Yeah. And he goes just gentle until he makes contact, and that's it. Then we'll check with the level to make sure that the walls are relatively straight. Now just check to make sure that the walls are nice and straight. Don't put your level on the spray foam that's squirting out of the holes. So just gauge that, tighten them if you want. If you need to, you can put a screw in the wood strap, pull the foam panel outward, add some more spray foam, reinsert those concrete screws. That's if they're bowed in. Straight as an arrow. Double check to make sure your walls are nice and straight. And what I like about this is you're guaranteed that once they're set straight and true, they're never going to move again. Unlike a framed wall that's a cavity in vat or spray foam, these ones will stay true. So you can see how straight that is. So after that foam is set for 24 hours, you can feel free to go back, check those screws, torque them up if you want. But look at how solid those walls are. They're not going anywhere. And that's because Damien and Maggie and I tested this system. This is our second time using it, and now those are nice and solid. So that's a wrap for this video. Now keep in mind, we are going to have playlists just strictly on Homega, because this is not the end of this type of video. We're going to have a separate video on how to do the electrical in this, because that's a big question that we're all having right now. We got it figured out, thanks to Damien and Maggie. Different applications, that'll be a separate video. And just stay tuned, we have bonus features and bloopers coming up right now. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out how to segue that. In my own twisted, weird way. No. I'll get her. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Take 500.
Take 500. You need at least a 4-foot level, and if you had a 4-foot level with a straight edge, or you go with the fancy 6 to 10 foot level. We used a laser pointer because it was super handy. Circular saw, impact. 2 drills is nice, so you stop switching bits out all the time. Now we used a roofing nailer. You'll see why and where. You'll need at least some hand roofing nails. You need a spray foam gun, hammer drill, wedge anchors. You're gonna need 5-inch and 6-inch concrete screws. We used an air nailer. You could just use screws, doesn't matter. Hand saw, rasp, tin snips. Now a 3/8 drill bit, a 1/4-inch drill bit, a countersink, a T30 driver for the Tapcons, they come with the kit. Vacuum. So now all the prep work's out of the way. We showed you all that. Now the panels are going to be super slick to install. Now you get to watch Luke do his work.